In an era where businesses are increasingly judged by not just their profits, but also their purpose, social responsibility has become more than just a box to tick. It's a reflection of a company's values and its commitment to making the world a better place. When organizations go beyond their core operations to support communities, they not only create lasting change, but also set an example of leaderships that resonates far beyond the balance sheet. GTC's annual initiative to support schools in Madagascar is a testament just to this ethos. By investing in education and empowering young minds, GTC is playing a small but meaningful part in shaping the future of a community. And why not? Perhaps even a nation. Hello, everyone. My name is Nassia Skoulikariti, and today, in this special edition of GTC Insiders, I'm joined by José García, the CEO of GTC, to discuss his recent trip to Madagascar, the impact of these initiatives, and why social responsibility remains a cornerstone of GTC's mission. José, welcome to GTC Insiders.
Thank you, Nassia. Thank you very much for taking the time and also showing the interest in this initiative. I'm very happy to be here.
Fantastic. So to get started with our chat, why don't you tell us a little bit about GTC's annual initiative in Madagascar and what inspired the company to support local schools specifically?
Well, the whole thing started with an employee that got me in touch with a contact in Madagascar. And that contact is actually very active, helping children and schools on the ground, together with his wife, actually. So they are running an association that is called the Antana Association. And when I read about the philosophy they have, the way they like to help in a very direct manner and very focused on education, that somehow resonated with me. And I thought, I would like to be part of it. And if I say I, then obviously I speak about the GTC, because this is definitely a GTC initiative, not just myself.
I know, being part of the team, that we're all excited, and in this for this year particularly, we were following you remotely, your travels, your adventures locally in Madagascar. So it's been quite exciting for the entire company, not just you as the CEO.
Yes, obviously an adventure for me too, and due to different reasons, I didn't travel before. This year has been the first time, but since our initiative has been growing, I felt the need to visit it, to be on the ground, and to see the direct impact of our initiatives. And I'm super happy I did it, Nassia. Probably it's testified by the pictures that you have seen. It has been overwhelming and very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it certainly was. It looked like an adventure, and it looked quite exciting in terms of the endeavor and what you were doing on the ground. Now, when we are looking at the projects specifically on the social responsibility side of the business, do we select this project? How do you decide which schools you were going to support each year? Is it through the partnership that we have locally? How do we know who needs our help and how do we support them?
Yeah, I mean, from the distance, you can't really do it. I mean, you need a partner on the ground, and we have this lovely couple, it's a Malagasy couple. They have children too. The children are now grown up. One is 16, one is 19. But obviously, they made the experience of sending their children to school, and also they went to school in more rural areas. So they know firsthand about the needs of schools and pupils and on the ground in Antananarivo and surroundings. And they propose initiatives also based on the budget that we offer. And I mean, everything they have organized in the past was just wonderful. And this year has been overwhelming. Yeah, I mean, we visited 3 schools, donating different types of material or working on different types of renovations. And the results were amazing. So you need people on the ground that know really where the initiative should happen and where the greatest needs are.
And you mentioned here that we are helping them with the support locally to either renovate schools or provide supplies, which is part of the support that we at GTC giving to help this initiative. But how has it evolved over the years? Because this is not the first year GTC is doing this. We've been doing it for a number of years.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's the first year where I feel a very strong impact. The other years, I have to think now back, for 4 years, we have been doing it now, I think for the 4th year. It felt like a drop in the ocean. Yeah, to bring the kids some material, school material, probably some toys, sometimes candies, but the focus was school material in very, very poor areas. Madagascar in general is a very poor country. And then if you, focus on a bit more rural areas or poor areas, then it's really, really difficult environment that I'm referring to. And every support is appreciated and very much needed. I repeat myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And were there any particular stories or areas that stood out to you this year since you were there in person?
Well, I mean, there were moments of an incredible excitement among the little ones. So at the primary school, I remember after giving them some candies. So obviously we had school material, but then you have the candies, and the candies provoke an excitement. I mean, once they have the candies, once they have them in the mouth, they start screaming and playing and cheering and laughing, and you in the middle of it. Wow, I mean, that's very touching, I have to say. But I mean, also if you visit then the secondary or the high school even, I mean, you enter the school facilities and you have 1,100 pupils standing, like in a military parade. Yeah.
Wow.
All waiting for you. They all practice songs and dances. They dedicate their whole day to you, just to thank you. I refer to the 1,100 pupils, but you have the Ministry of Education, you have the major, you have the director, you have all the teachers, you have many parents that also come. Most of those children have not seen a foreigner ever. The first time. So I was told that 95% of the pupils have seen a foreigner for the first time in their life. Yeah, so it's hard to imagine what it means for them to be visited. And the combination of helping them and visiting them is hard to imagine. Yeah, but I mean, I have never seen and experienced so much gratitude. From all the people that have been around us. So you can imagine that you experience many touching moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jose, it sounds like you weren't just representing GTC on this trip. You were, representing generations of foreigners to these young minds. And hopefully, you managed to inspire them to see beyond their own borders and to see what's available and what people can do with a little bit of kindness.
Yes. And I think we have a lot to learn also from the people that we see in the ground that are involved in the initiatives that receive and express the gratitude. You get to see that probably you need very basic things to be happy. Mm-hmm. That's an experience. That's an experience for us. We're coming from environments where we have too much of everything. No.
We certainly tend to have a tendency of taking things for granted. And this was a glimpse of being grateful for things that, we don't think twice about it. Mm. Were there any moments of interaction that you had either with some students or teachers that particularly and deeply resonated with you?
Well, it was full of moments, Nassia. The fact that you see children sometimes without shoes that have to walk sometimes for 3 hours one way to school. They are in an environment where there is no running water, and at the same time, they still express so much joy and happiness and gratitude. We have seen so many different moments that for me it's very difficult to highlight one in particular. It was really something ongoing. We mm-hmm. visited 3 schools, and from the moment we arrived till the moment we left, it was very, very touching, I have to say. And I refer to the pupils, but I also refer to the parents that were there, and also to the teachers that are doing a great job for very little money in very difficult circumstances. Yeah, the teachers spent the nights in the school area from Monday to Friday, and the weekends they go back home. Yeah, they have a salary of $65 per month.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very difficult to access to the schools. You don't have public transport. Obviously, with that salary, you can't afford a car either. Yeah. So, all that in the context has been very touching, and we had many, many moments that were very, very touching, I have to say.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that it was also learning experience for you, bringing back. Were there anything in particular that you brought back with you, and you're planning on making any particular changes, either on mindset or the way that you see the day-to-day life?
you start to compare children with children. Yeah, so you see happy children over there, and you see children in our society that have difficulties to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, what are the needs that a human or child requires to be happy? Yeah. And that's somehow a learning, It's not about more presence and more security, more wealth, more vacations. Sorry, I have to switch off the phone. It's rather about addressing basic needs, probably about showing care, receiving love, but it's not about having everything easy and accommodated, which is like what we are after every day. At least it seems like that. We want to improve our living in many different aspects. Happiness is actually not guaranteed through that. Happiness is something that I have seen in Madagascar, Nassia, and I really admire all the individuals that I have seen enjoying life without having what we consider basic needs, like running water or electricity or transport means or food. Yeah, I mean, food is also very, let's say, very scarce. It's very difficult to have a good food every day because it's just costly for the people. And the main food is rice. But they eat rice in the morning, for lunch, and for dinner. So this is every day, and there is not much more.
Wow. It just goes to show that, people in our world, in the West, will be paying good money to find just a smidge of that kind of happiness that you just show us here. And we still don't get it. Happiness does not equal things. And that kind of happiness is very fleeting. And it's a human connection and getting joy out of life for just being alive. And having the chance to be around people and learning new things, it's fantastic. It's really phenomenal.
You just described it well. Just being alive. Yeah. It's really about surviving what you see there. All the movements you see in the streets. Also, when we were driving through the main streets, main roads, you see that so much was related to surviving. Yeah, and you see the children there, and you imagine what their parents are doing for surviving, and what they can actually provide the children to survive too, how they can support the children. In the best case, child can attend the school, but we have seen many, many children working, Nassia. They were not going to school. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, for the majority of the people that haven't witnessed that, we're thinking that belongs, 50, 60, 70 years ago. It's not something that is happening today, and indeed is happening today. So, wow, that's
I mean, in our society, children tend to complain about school and say, "No, I don't want to work in the afternoon." They complain about the teachers. They complain about so many things that are related to school education. And in other societies, it's the opposite. For them, it's an absolute luxury good to have school education, to be able to attend. And if on top they have the equipment that they need for attending classes properly, then they really appreciate it. Yeah, that's something very different.
Did you witness any tangible changes in the schools or in the community around, since GTC has been involved in this initiative to support the local schools? They've given you tours of the facilities. I mean, can you show, what kind of the impact the help that we're giving is having?
Yeah, I give you a couple of examples. There's a difference if you're sitting on the floor or if you are sitting on a bench and are using a proper wooden desk, to pay attention, to write down notes. So there's a big difference. So there is a huge difference. If you imagine there is a big hole in the wall, that is separating one classroom from the other, or having this wall fixed, so a big hole means, that there is an exchange of sounds between one class and the other. So everything becomes very difficult when it comes to communication and to paying attention. So these are very, very basic things, Nassia, or just to have a ceiling that is not actually leaking in terms of the water, or to have windows, in classroom that don't have windows. In the winter time, it's very cold. Very basic things that make a big difference. It's just improving the conditions, and improving the conditions means improving the work conditions for teachers, and obviously improving the conditions for the pupils that want to attend the classes. So the likelihood of really making progress in terms of education is much higher if you have the right equipment and the right facilities. Yeah. And that is actually our focus. Have we seen the impact? Yes, we have seen it. Yeah, this year I have seen much more than what I have seen the last years from the distance, obviously through pictures that we received. We are definitely improving lives. That's something I can tell you. I have seen it with my own eyes, and and people have actually reconfirmed that again and again and again.
Wow. Things that we take for granted and we expect as a minimum. There are communities around the world that they don't even have that. So it's staggering what you're sharing with us. And that brings me to my next question, Jose, which is why is corporate social responsibility so important to GTC, and how does it align with the company's broader mission? You shared the example, so it's easy to make the assumptions through that, but I would like to hear it directly from you.
Well, it's not something we had on the agenda from the beginning, Nassia, but what we had in the past is we had a Christmas initiative where we were sending physical presents to our customers. And when we discovered actually this association in Madagascar, we thought, okay, let's do it differently. We will be donating 50 euros per customer. And that is something that we presented to our customers. So we told them, instead of receiving a physical present, we will be donating 50 euros to this initiative. And actually, we also send the customers then pictures after the initiative was actually completed. And this is how we started. What we saw is something that really filled our hearts. And and once you start, you can't stop, Nassia. And I mean, after what I have experienced this year, I will never stop. I mean, seeing what I can do with little money, I think I will never stop. So, why are we doing it? I would say that by coincidence, we found something that was powerful. Why? Because we feel that €1 that we put in the initiative is really €1 that arrives to the people that are in great need. And if you see this direct impact, then obviously you feel impacted too. Yeah. And that is just a luxury that we have the possibilities today that this association enabled to us, and we will continue doing it. I'm not saying to the rest of the market that they should do the same. Everybody needs to know what their values are, what good and wrong is. But for GTC, it's definitely part of the company culture and the company values, and we will continue doing it.
And it also has a big impact internally at GTC that we have seen this type of initiatives, because it makes the employees feel being part of something that creates such an impact. It makes every single person who touches the company, the organization, feel better about the work that we do. So it gives a different meaning to our day-to-day productivity and mindset, thinking, we're doing all this to support organizations, to enable organizations, but we're taking it a step beyond. We're enabling communities to create better life. And in our case, better life for younger minds.
Yes, we're doing it. We're doing it as a company. We have found the right format with the right partners, Nassia. And that is why we will continue, because we know that we are doing something good. And if we are doing something that the employees appreciate, even better. I would say that's a very good side effect. I'm very happy if the employees identify with the company culture, company values, obviously. And that won't be the main reason for doing what we do, but definitely a very good side effect.
And before we close, Jose, was there any singing and dancing, any fun things in your trip?
Yeah, we had the chance to spontaneously start dancing in front of the 1,100 pupils, and they were so excited and happy to just imitate what you were doing. So they were just following me. I was just spontaneous, performing some moves, and they were following me. We had music, and that has been a great moment, but something extremely spontaneous. I mean, everything you give them is very welcomed, is very appreciated. And, even if I said some words in Malagasy, that was very appreciated. Obviously, I came prepared, when it comes to some expressions in the local language, I came prepared. Regarding the dancing and performing, I didn't come prepared, but probably I prepared by nature, so when I had the chance, obviously, I performed and we had a very good time.
Oh, fantastic. It looked what you shared with us internally, a lot of fun and exciting. So, Jose, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your adventure in Madagascar and highlighting the need for every single one of us doing something around social responsibility that resonates not only, with the company missions and values, but it resonates with us personally, and it makes a direct impact. So thank you so much for sharing. This has been a wonderful story, and it's something that we will see unfolding over the years to come. So for our audience, I want to say thank you for staying with us. And on behalf of the entire GTC team, I would like to wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. And we're looking forward to seeing you next year again in another edition of GTC Insiders. Bye-bye for now.